Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Private Practice with Soul podcast. This is the first podcast for counselors that just don't align with the traditional approaches to business and that want to use their spiritual gifts, talents, and interests to create, you guessed it, a private practice with soul. So, look, leave it to me to provide you with everything you need, including strategies that you can use to increase your income, reduce your workload, and of course, increase inquiries and referrals to your beautiful soul-led private practice. I love it so much. If you haven't done it already, grab your journal, grab your pen, and let's begin. Welcome to another episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brooklyn Storme, and I have a co-host with me today. His name is Buddy. Don't really know if we've got a middle name for him yet. It was going to be Parkour a few weeks ago because he was jumping on all of the furniture, which is not a good thing. And then it was going to be the Destroyer because he loves to, chew my desk and stuff like that. But I have to say, this week, something has just clicked and Buddy is calm and he's affectionate and he just wants to be cuddled all the time. So if I sound a bit further away today, it's because I'm sitting further away from my phone. Oh, not from my phone, my microphone, because little Buddy wants to sit on my lap. And it turns out we can't do that with my desk chair. So this morning I've got a sofa in my home study, my home office, and I've managed to bring the sofa in front of the desk, but it's a lot lower than my desk. So I'm sitting on a stack of cushions on my sofa, and instead of sitting beside me, which was my idea, because my legs are too short to comfortably house Buddy as a lap dog, he's still decided he wants to sit on my lap. So yeah, I think maybe Buddy thinks he's a cat. He's curled up in the cat position and he's going to fall off my lap because my little legs, they're just not long enough to accommodate him. So I'm holding onto him with one arm and I'm talking to you and flailing around with the other. But if I sound further away, it's not your speaker, it's not your car radio, it's me. Anyway, how's your week going? I hope that you're having a really good one or that you did have a really good one. I hope that if you're in New South Wales, the heat has calmed down a little bit. In Victoria, it was the opposite for us. That it's been raining, but yesterday was lovely in the afternoon and I think we're in for a nice weekend, so that's good. What else did I want to share with you just before we get started? Oh, it was kind of a big deal, actually. I don't know why I forgot. But yeah, on the 20th of September, it was 28 years in private practice for me. So it was a celebration. It was a birthday celebration. And so what I've been doing is every day for my birthday week, I am giving away a 28% discount on something in my private practice. So yesterday it was 28% discount on the Diploma Counsellor Society membership. Today it is a 28% discount on 3 private one-to-one mentoring sessions with me. All these little coupon codes that I made only last for 24 hours. And then there's another couple coming. I think today was day 4. So we've got day 5, 6, and 7. So 3 more things coming up. One of them is going to be, because there's been a lot of people asking me, will I include it in the bonanza for my birthday? And the answer is okay, yes, I will. Private Practice 101. So if you're thinking about starting a private practice, or maybe you're in it but not getting the results you want, let's dial it back, take a step back, come into Private Practice 101. Let's check you've got all the key foundations in there and then go into a marketing program. But for those of you who are looking to finish your studies in the next 6 to 8 weeks and you want to open your practice early in the new year, congratulations. That's so amazing. And I'd love to be able to support you with that. We have beautiful community, super supportive. You can jump in there straight away. But yeah, I think tomorrow is the day when the coupon code goes out for that one. So it's 28% off, which is really exciting because I think it's $47 a month now. But it's going up to $97 at Christmas time. So yeah, this is a good chance for you to get in and experience all the wonderful things in there. But Today, I want to talk with you about a question. So, I did all of those coaching calls, which were a load of fun. I really enjoyed it so much. But I did notice, and I've taken notes, I did notice there was a theme coming through. So I thought I'd speak to one of those today. And that is, you know, I've written it down. Hang on, I'm just trying to read my writing. Oh, how long does it take? How long does it take to start filling your diary in private practice? And I thought that was a really good question. So someone that I spoke to said that, actually she's been doing pretty well. She finished her diploma in I'd say November last year. She opened up her private practice in February. She started getting clients from Instagram in February, and then it all just sort of trickled away and no more clients are coming through. And she has started Google Ads, but struggling with it, not really sure. What was happening was she was spending money on Google Ads and she was getting inquiries, but then people weren't taking her up on her offer, and she was never sure why that was. So we're looking a little bit more into that. Now, between you and I, it could be any number of reasons. It could be she just wasn't fantastic at having that initial call. Sometimes some therapists end up providing free counselling instead of actually doing a call. So it could have been that. It could have been she wasn't confident in sharing her price, and that's maybe deterred people. It could be that the ad is attracting the wrong people. And yeah, a whole bunch of things. So I won't know until we investigate that a little bit further. But yeah, she was just sort of saying that she really wants to know how long is it going to take, because she feels like she's been in it for 6 months. She's only got 3 or 4 clients, and she's killing herself trying to get them. So that was what we spent our time together on the coaching call talking about. And so I thought today might be really helpful if I share with you some general insights as to how long it does take, and I can share with you too the experience of some of the people in my world, so my private clients as well as people in my group memberships, and that might help you see where you're sitting and faring in terms of building up your private practice. So I guess the first thing that I always share with you, and if you've been in my world for a little while, you'll no doubt, have heard this before, but it takes on average 90 days for marketing to work. So if you're thinking of opening your practice in, say, January, you want to start marketing your practice in October. Even though you're not taking clients, you still need to market it. Okay, so that's the first thing to do. You have to have some kind of online presence. It's 2023. We have to have an online presence. Now, when I first started, it was very, very different. And I'll share with you like the good, the bad, and the ugly very quickly. So for me, I had an ad in the yellow pages. I also had an ad in the white pages. So embarrassing to say, but you know what? Apparently the yellow pages still exists. I never even knew, but it does. But anyway, that was one thing that I did. The other thing that I did was at our, we had a big shopping centre in the suburb where I live, or where I lived then, which was Frankston. We had this great big shopping centre, and in the shopping centre there was a vending machine that was brand spanking new, and you could print off business cards at this vending machine for about $30. You'd get 100 cards. You could pick your font. You could pick your design. You could pick the color cardboard that you wanted. So yeah, I printed off cardboard. Well, of course they're all cardboard, aren't they? But cardboard business cards from this vending machine in the middle of the arcade in Frankston. So that was another thing that I did. Another thing that I did was I made up flyers. So I made up flyers on my, what was I using then? I was still using an Apple. It was one of the first Apples that came out. I think she was called an Apple Lisa. I was using her, and I printed off a little A4 flyer that I made, which is so bad. Like, I look at it now, I'm just thinking, what were you thinking, girl? It was so bad. Like, it just had my name on it. It had that sessions were available. It had my phone number. It had it had the address. It just, I don't know. It was not a good flyer. And I remember that I used to go down to Foot Street Shops, which is like the main little strip shop near where I lived. and they had newsagent at the Foot Street shops, and I used to go and pay 20 cents a copy for my flyers. So I used to save up my babysitting money, and because I was doing that while I was studying, I was doing a lot of babysitting and a lot of tutoring, and I'd save up my money and I'd go and I'd print off a bunch of these flyers, and I'd ask shops if they could put them in the window in my local area, and then I started walking them around and putting them in people's letterboxes. So yeah, mobile phones weren't even a thing. Computers were only just a thing. So yeah, oh my gosh, that was marketing for me in 1995. But fast forward nearly 30 years and things are very different. And do you know what? You don't need to do any of that stuff anymore, but you certainly do need to have an online presence, okay? You have to have one, because the first place your clients are going to look for you is Google. So it's really worth your time to create a professional website that provides information about your services, your areas of expertise or your speciality, as well as your contact details. And of course, that beautiful big booking button needs to be sprinkled throughout every single page on your website. And you need to remember to optimize your website for search engines. So that's SEO, just so it increases your visibility. One of the other things that I noticed when I did these coaching calls was having a look at people's websites. A lot of people didn't have their website secure. So that just means you need the SSL certificate. So I don't want to get too technical here because it's absolutely not technical, but you do need to check if your URL is HTTPS or if it's just HTTP. If it's an S, that's what you want. That means you've got security and Google will share your website to more people. If you don't have the S, then Google thinks that you've got a suspicious website and it won't share it to very many people at all, even if you have wonderful SEO. So that's one thing to do. The other thing too was a lot of people didn't have basic things on their website, like they didn't have the website terms of service and they didn't have the website privacy policy. So they're a legal requirement in Australia for you to have. All Australian businesses need to have both documents as clickable links on their website. Usually they go in the footer down here where you'd put your copyright, all rights reserved and stuff like that. You would usually save these documents in iCloud or Dropbox or OneDrive or, whatever cloud-based storage you've got, but they do need to be on there. As I said, it is a legal requirement. You can get fined if you don't have it, but also Google know that it's a legal requirement here, and again, penalizes you by not sharing your website with as many people if those two things aren't on there. So you might be wondering, where are you going to get those two things? I've got you covered. You have them already in your essential forms for private practice bundle, okay? They are there already. You don't need to go and buy them or anything like that. They're already there. You've already got them. If you don't have the essential forms in private practice, just head to my website and you can grab them from there. The website is brooklynstorme.com and Storm has an E on the end, or just message me and I'll send you a link to grab them. If you're on my email list, they were included in the birthday bonanza as well at 28% off on day one. And lots of people grabbed them up then, which was good to see. Okay, so yeah, that's it about your online presence. The other thing that you want to do is online advertising. So this will really speed up how quickly you fill your diary. So you can do it two ways. You can fill your diary organically or with paid advertising. Organically means you're not going to pay for advertising, that's all. So consider using online platforms like Google Ads or Facebook Ads so that you can target people who might be seeking therapy in your area. Okay, if you're seeing people face to face. If you're seeing people online, you get to do it a little bit differently. But before you start running ads saying book an appointment, book now, and things like that, sometimes it can be worthwhile. This is for Facebook, not Google. Sometimes it can be worthwhile running ads that are going to build your audience first. Okay, so running ads that are going to build your audience, maybe run ads for a month or maybe 6 weeks. You only need to do it for $3 or $5 a day. What we want to do is get people in your world. We want them to come and connect with you on, if you're on social, we want them to come and do that. If you're not on social, that's okay. You can run a social media free private practice. You would be directing them to your website and getting them to download something like your lead magnet or your opt-in, okay? Build out that email list and then start, connecting with people. I send emails, well, I want to send them most days, and I try and send high value emails. At the moment, I've called it a birthday bonanza. So that's what's happening. So it's an email a day for 7 days with a big discount on some of my most in-demand things in my business. And I feel like they are high value emails because people are probably just waiting to see, oh, is she going to have this? Is she going to sell that? Is she going to have a discount on this? And, they're excited. My email open rate is higher than it's ever been at 77% right now, which is almost unheard of. So it's good to know you have to have that email list there because not everyone's going to be in your world sort of seeing you in person as a therapist, and if you're not on social, they don't have any other way of knowing what's going on with you. So certainly, you don't need to email them daily, but you might email them once a week or once a fortnight. I would say once a week is probably best, and make sure that email is high value, meaning no fluff. Okay, I don't want to open your email and then go, oh, that was a waste of 2 minutes, because then all I'm going to do is unsubscribe. And that costs you money, right? The cost of acquiring a client, you need to understand. It's a private practice metric that you need to understand. I know very well what my cost of acquisition is for each new person into my world. And I also know the lifetime value of my clients. And you should too. It's part of being a good business owner. Okay, it's not just about being on the couch and doing the work with our clients. We also have to have a business head on. So you've got 2 things there. You've got your online presence plus your advertising. The next thing that works really well for counsellors, psychologists and social workers is networking. So that's actively networking with other mental health professionals, including doctors and community organisations, because building strong referral relationships can lead to a steady stream of clients. Now, here's something that I just want to, impress upon you again. When somebody sends you a referral, it's really important you acknowledge it. If somebody sends you more than one referral, it's really important that you look after that referrer because they are keeping you in business, right? So if you just accept the referrals and you never communicate with them, or maybe you only communicate by sending them updates on clients' progress, we've got a problem because you're at high risk of losing that referrer. Really think about ways that you can love on your referrers. When I was first learning this, I learned that you needed to have, was it 3 or 5? They call them private practice angels, but they're the people that refer the most clients to your business. So have a look at who's referring if you're getting referrals, and really, really, really look after them. If you're not getting referrals yet, have a look at where your inquiries are coming from. I would just focus on the top 3 places where you're getting your inquiries and let everything else go. So if you're not getting any off Instagram, but you are on Facebook, drop Instagram, invest more time and money in Facebook. Okay. Networking is really important. The problem is not many people know how to do it very well. Speaking to people over the last week. Hello, buddy. You okay? You okay? Go to sleep. Good boy. Just having a stretch. I might be talking too loudly for his liking. Good boy, baby. Anyway, you don't just want to go to a network meeting and speak all about yourself. You have to show an interest in what other people are doing, and you have to have follow through. It's not just about going there, giving out your cards, and then sitting back and waiting for referrals. Networking is 2 ways. It's not just you dumping on people and then, what was I going to say? In my mind, I was going to say hit and run, but that's not it. In my mind, I was thinking about the scene from Mrs. Doubtfire, where Mrs. Doubtfire is at the bar with the mother, his ex-wife, and Pierce Brosnan walks past. and, gives some kind of smarty pants comment. And Mrs. Doubtfire throws a lemon at him, and he a lemon or a lime at his head, and he turns around suddenly and he looks at her, and she says, "I don't know, I saw it too. It must have been a flyby fruiting." You don't want to do a flyby fruiting at your networking sessions. No, there are two ways. So make sure that you show interest in what other people are doing and start referring to other people. It comes back down to manifesting as well. Like you get what you give. If you're not giving referrals, how can you expect to receive them from other professionals? Doesn't work like that. Okay, and then we've got online directories. Fantastic. The most popular by far is Psychology Today, and it's really interesting to hear the commentary in some of our free groups about this. I have to say, there are people in my paid communities and private clients that I work with that do incredibly well with their Psychology Today profiles because they know what to write and they know how to say it. And then there are other people in the groups who've never learned what to write or how to write it. They pop up a Psychology Today profile because they've looked at a bunch of others, so they figure to themselves that they know what needs to be on it, and they use those as a model. And then they publish their profile and they don't get any nibbles. And then they tell everybody else in the free groups how horrible Psychology Today is and it doesn't work and don't waste your time and all this sort of stuff. It is not true. Well, it's true for those people, but if you are willing to invest some time learning how to write a high converting profile, you can absolutely get inquiries. And many of my clients do, and they fill their diary that way. But there are other things as well. It's not just what you write on the profile. People are going to click through to your website. So you've got to have a decent website, right? And you've got to have a really easy booking process. It's more than the profile. It's a whole bunch of things. And unless you know that, you're going to struggle with Psychology Today. But it is the most popular one. If you need help with it, there's plenty of help in my groups. You can go in there and get that help if you want it. But there are other online directories that you can join as well. They're all different. I would say avoid I don't know if I can legally say it or not. What's a different way of saying it? Okay, here's how I'd like to say it. Do your research before you join any online directories, okay? And do your research before you join any referral companies. So there are some referral companies out there that you can sign up with for a fee, and then they will send you inquiries. And it's your job to convert those into bookings. And the company that's sending you those inquiries is going to keep a full session fee, and then the client is yours. Or they won't keep a session fee, but they will charge you $500 a month or something like that. And you're going to have to cough up that money every single month. So, really do your research. Ask for other people's experience. Get guidance and all the information before signing up for those things, okay? Another way to fill your diary really quickly is with success stories. So absolutely including success stories on your website. In our profession, client reviews count for zip. Here's why. You're not allowed to use the client's real name. You can't use their identifying information. You can't use their photo. All you can really do is type out a sentence or two from what the client said, and it doesn't look legitimate, okay? And so what's the point? Because, in this world that we're in now, people are going to cop to that and say, oh, I don't know if this is legit. I don't think that it is. So, yeah, it looks like maybe she just made them up. One of the ways that you can get around it, though, is if maybe you can screenshot something. So, I don't know, if you get a review, maybe you could screenshot it and then de-identify the client's details. That would make it look more legit. But generally in the health and wellbeing space, we don't use them because of privacy and confidentiality. And because of those things not being able to be used, like their details, they just look like they've been made up. So for that reason, I teach my clients to write success stories. They are much better. And the other thing that you can do is get a professional endorsement. So I would do those instead. The other thing that you can do is, of course, have a very clear niche. When you cast when you cast your net widely, what happens is you don't catch any fish. Okay, it's the opposite to what you might think. You're going to be much more likely to get clients when you have a well-defined niche. There's guidance on how to do that in Private Practice 101. But basically, your niche could be anything. You are your niche, okay? That's number one. You and your energy, the way you work, that is absolutely your niche. Never forget that. No matter what area you end up doing, you are always your niche. That's number one. Number two, your therapeutic modality can be your niche. So there are private practices that just do hypnotherapy. So they work with all kinds of people with all kinds of requests and, challenges. But all those clients know that they're coming for hypnotherapy or EMDR or ACT or whatever it is, right? So that can be your niche. Another thing that could be your niche is the presenting problem or the challenge, or, so there are trending ones at the moment. The trending ones are grief and loss and trauma. Last year it was more around, those things, but also ADD. And before that it was autism and stuff. So, and neurodivergence was trending. So I would avoid trending niches because it just means you're going to have a lot more competition. And unless your marketing is on point, you're going to struggle. So avoid trending niches, and, have a really defined niche that feels good for you and that feels really, really comfortable and easy and light, and it's going to fill your soul and fill your cup. So there's some ideas around having a niche. And then two, just being really present. So if you are going to use social media to help you with your branding, be consistent with it in terms of showing up regularly. But you don't have to just be on social. You might have a podcast. All right. So podcast is a fantastic way. It gives you a voice. It gives your business a voice. It gives your brand a voice. It helps you connect with your clients. So you could definitely consider a podcast. But if you do that, just remember that a podcast is a long-term game. You're not going to get clients and build up things very quickly with a podcast. It takes time. So just eye on the prize there. But you could do that. You could blog or microblog. You could have a YouTube channel where you do, shorts, or you could do 5-minute videos, one a week or something like that. Again, that's a long-term thing, but definitely worth it because YouTube in our field is the second most searched platform to Google. All right. So interesting, isn't it, when you learn about all of this stuff? So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today. I can also share that my most successful clients are the ones who actually implement things. They roll up their sleeves and they implement things. So you can listen to all the podcasts and watch all the little videos and, download all my goodies and everything. But unless you actually implement, it can take you a lot longer. So you have to be able to implement things. And you have to be willing to make tweaks and changes and check things working and all that sort of good stuff. And you're going to be just fine. You could be up and running within those 90 days to a fully booked diary. The other thing too is to think about your booking process. Make sure you've got a really easy way for new clients to book in with you. And I don't mean email and contact forms. They're the bane of my existence. I don't think that they do you any favors. In fact, more often than not, I hear people say that they got an email from a potential client and they've sent them all this information, and then they sent them a follow-up, and then they sent them another follow-up, and the client's just ghosting them. So I wouldn't even bother with that. Make sure you've got a really simple booking system, get going with that, and then you're good. So you've got 8 ideas there on ways that you can fill your diary more quickly, but you'll fill it more quickly the more things that you implement. Okay, it's not about doing more, it's about being strategic with this. And then lastly, my last tip would be just manage your state. Really take care of your state. You have to make sure that your energy is good. if you're doing things, this is what I believe. I believe that if you're doing things with a heavy heart and you detest writing a blog and you really don't want to be on social, and I believe you bring that energy to what you're doing, and I believe that that energy then seeps out into the world and the universe, and people will pick up on that and maybe not book in with you. Versus if you are in the mood to write a blog, if you are in the mood to record a podcast, if you are in the mood to write a success story, the energy and the vibe of that's going to be so much more different. And I think people are going to be attracted to it. That's what we mean by magnetic marketing, just manage your state of energy all the time. And if you notice that you're just not in the mood to do something, just walk away, come back when you're feeling a little bit more inspired. There's always going to be things that you do need to do regardless of that, but wherever you can, do try and manage your energetic state. Okay, so I hope that this was really, really helpful. It's still nice and sunny outside. Buddy's now asleep on my lap. I am now going to go and record some training for the Diploma Counsellor Society, and I think I need to record training today for another group of Private Practice 101 I need to record a training for. So that's what I'm going to be doing now, and then I'll get outside with Buddy Boo. He's learning how to play fetch. It is the cutest thing. Sometimes he runs straight past me with the stick and he just wants to sit down and chew it though. So he's still learning to bring it back all the way to my hand. But he's doing great. He's doing great, aren't you? Oh, hello. You waking up? Kisses? And guess what? He had his very first day of babysitting on Thursday and he went so well. He was there with another little friend. So he met another dog who was a cavoodle, who was a few years older than him. And because he was just being a puppy and playing around, this cavoodle handled it really well. It was just like, oh yeah, here we go, puppy. But they went for a few big walks. They went to Overport Park and they had a big walk down there. And then they went for a big walk around the estate where his babysitter lives. That was lovely. And he was a good boy and he ate all his lunch, which was good. He drank lots of water and he was a good boy. And so guess what? He's going back there on Thursday next week because I got plans with my sister. Yeah, my sister is on maternity leave and she's going back to work soon. So I wanted to give her like a spa day. So Buddy's going to have his little spa day over with Caroline, his babysitter, and I'm going to take my sister for a little spa day. There's a new place that opened near us called Alba. Down the road, there's Peninsula Hot Springs, right? So it's all these natural geothermal hot springs. It's really lovely. It's very famous. Lots of people go there. I've been there so many times. But now, competition has opened up directly opposite. So I'm not even joking. You go down to the hot springs and on the left-hand side, it says entrance to the Peninsula Hot Springs. And on the right-hand side, it says entrance to Alba. Now, Alba is, let's say, the luxurious version of the hot springs. And by that, I mean, if you want to have a pedicure, it's $270. You can look this up on the website. True thing. I love going for floats. My sister's never been for one. So we're thinking of both booking in for the floats. And I think that's going to be like $500. But I don't know. It's worth it for, special occasions and things like that. She's a new mum. I want to look after her. And she's my sister. And I just think it might be something fun for us to do. But anyway, so that's why Buddy's going in for... hello, darling. That's why he's going in for babysitting again with Caroline. He's going to be a good boy. He's going to make a new friend. And guess what? When he came back from babysitting on Thursday, he was on his best behaviour. He was very snuggly and cuddly and he had a very big sleep on Thursday night. I can tell you. Yes. You good boy. Hey, you good boy. Okay. I'll let you go. You've heard enough of buddy updates. I told you, you're just going to get spammed with buddy updates moving forward. But if you're thinking of joining Private Practice 101, I would do it tomorrow. The coupon code comes out tomorrow for that, and you'll get 28% off for as long as you're in it. if you use that coupon code. So save yourself some coin, get in it then. Otherwise, have a beautiful, beautiful weekend, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye for now. I hope that you loved this episode as much as I loved putting it together for you. To get more resources to help you in your private practice, head over to Instagram. My handle is @theprivatepracticecoach. And also, if you want more inquiries and referrals for your business, let me know. I have a program called Clients on Demand that opens every quarter, and I can absolutely get you some information for that as well. You are doing an amazing job. Thank you for sharing your gifts with the world. Bye.